I'm Roronoa Zoro, the pirate hunter. What makes you think I'd want to play pirates with you?
The name Mackenyu Arata is no longer just a name on a movie poster or a manga live-action adaptation. He has become a global icon, a cross-cultural actor who successfully conquered two of the world's biggest film industries, Hollywood and Japan. But behind the red carpet lights and millions of followers, there's a long narrative of iron discipline, a heavy family legacy, and a relentless search for his own identity. Born on November 16, 1996, in Los Angeles as Mackenyu Arata, he is the son of the late Sonny Chiba, Shinichi Chiba. To the world, Sonny Chiba was a martial arts god, famous for the Street Fighter, and his role as Hattori Hanzo in Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill. To Mackenyu, his father was a mentor and a high bar he felt he had to clear. Growing up in Little Tokyo, LA, Mackenyu was never truly far from his Japanese roots, even though he was raised in the American school system. His mother, Tamami Chiba, provided the emotional balance in a highly competitive household. From a young age, Mackenyu was taught that the body is an artistic tool. He wasn't allowed to just be a stay-at-home kid. His father pushed him to master both physical and artistic elements. At home, they spoke Japanese, but at Beverly Hills High School, Mackenyu was a typical American teen, fluent in English and immersed in Western pop culture. This duality eventually became his secret weapon. Mackenyu's teenage years were packed with a schedule that would overwhelm most kids. At age 8, he started diving deep into Kyokushin karate. This wasn't just a weekly hobby. It was athlete-level training at his father's dojo. He learned about pain, endurance, and respect. It paid off when he placed third in the U.S. Kyokushin Karate Nationals as a teen. But he didn't stop at karate. He had an incredible physical curiosity. He did gymnastics for flexibility, water polo for lung stamina, and wrestling for core strength. He even mastered horseback riding and yabusame, traditional Japanese mounted archery, by age 7. On the artistic side, he was just as intense. He started piano at 10, followed by the saxophone and flute in the school band. This musicality gave his soul a soft dimension, balancing the toughness of martial arts. When you see Mackenyu act today, the calm in his movements comes from the piano, while the precision of his strikes comes from karate. Despite being born and raised in the States, Mackenyu felt something was missing. After appearing in a few small U.S. projects as a child actor, he felt a drive to prove himself in Japan, without relying on his famous family name. In 2013, at 17, he made a bold move. He moved to Japan all by himself. His first few years weren't easy. Even as Sonny Chiba's son, the Japanese film industry is rigid and demands linguistic perfection. He had to relearn how to speak. Even though he knew basic Japanese, his intonation sounded too Americanized. He grinded through audition after audition, often without mentioning his father, because he didn't want to be seen as a Nippo baby. He wanted people to see his talent, not his connections. This integrity defined him early on. His big break came in 2016 with the film Chiafu. Playing Arata Wataya, a quiet but intense Karuta traditional card game genius, changed everything. The character was a total contrast to Mackenyu's active real-life personality. Mackenyu fell in love with the character so much that he felt it gave him a new identity. As a sign of commitment and gratitude, he officially changed his stage name to Mackenyu Arata. Arata means new in Japanese, symbolizing a fresh start. Winning the Newcomer of the Year at the 40th Japan Academy Film Prize was the official validation that he had been fully accepted by his ancestral land as a top-tier actor. After Chiafu, his career took off like a rocket. He became the go-to guy for almost every major manga adaptation. Why? Because he has a rare combination, a face that looks like it jumped out of an anime, backed by the physical ability to do high-stakes stunts for real. His role as Enishi Yukishiro in Rurouni Kenshin, the final, 2021, is considered one of the best action performances in modern Japanese cinema. He fought Takeru Sato in lightning-fast sword choreography. Mackenyu trained for months to ensure every strike looked lethal yet artistic. This is where his father's martial arts legacy truly shined. He also starred in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Tokyo Ghoul S, and played Scar in Fullmetal Alchemist. The world began to realize that there was an actor in Japan with Hollywood-level action skills and serious dramatic depth. Mackenyu is known for being extremely private. In an era where celebrities share every detail of their breakfast, he stays mysterious. He rarely shares personal life details on Instagram, sticking mostly to work. His introverted nature makes him prefer staying home playing video games or hanging out with a tight-knit circle of friends. A major blow came when his father, Sonny Chiba, passed away in August 2021 due to COVID-19 complications. It rocked his world, but he handled it with incredible maturity, carrying his father's spirit into every film set. On January 22, 2023, he shocked the public by announcing his marriage to a non-celebrity woman. He chose to announce it on his father's birthday, a promise he made with his brother, Gordon Maeda, who announced his marriage on the same day. He is now a father, having welcomed his first child in Hawaii in July 2023, a new chapter he treats with the same privacy and responsibility. The peak of all that karate, piano, and years of auditioning happened when Netflix announced him as Roronoa Zoro in the One Piece live action. This was a massive gamble. One Piece fans are legendary for being critical, and Zoro is one of the most beloved characters ever. Mackenyu went into total beast mode. He trained his neck muscles to handle a sword in his mouth, Santoryu technique. He dyed his hair green, and most extremely, he actually pierced his ears for real, so Zoro's earrings would look natural. When the series dropped in August 2023, the world went crazy. Mackenyu didn't just play Zoro. For many, he became Zoro. His Instagram exploded with millions of new followers globally. Despite the One Piece success, the Hollywood road isn't always smooth. He starred in Knights of the Zodiac as Seiya. While the movie got mixed reviews, Mackenyu's physical performance was praised. He proved he could lead a big-budget Hollywood action flick. His huge advantage is being a native English speaker, meaning the language barrier that often stops Japanese actors doesn't exist for him. Mackenyu's success isn't luck. He applies the Bushido, way of the warrior, philosophy to his work. He shows up early to rehearse movements. He hates using stunt doubles because he feels the audience can tell the difference. To him, honesty in movement is honesty in acting. He also has a crazy strict diet. While playing Zoro, he tracked every nutrient to keep that sharp muscle definition. Yet, underneath the discipline, he's a sensitive artist. He often listens to classical music before emotional scenes to get into character. That mix of karate power and piano grace is what makes his acting feel so alive. Today, Mackenyu Arata stands at a bright crossroads. He has a solid footing in Japan and a growing grip on Hollywood. He founded his own agency, Mackenyu Incorporated, giving him more control over his projects. He's no longer just waiting for auditions, he's producing his own future. His vision is to be a bridge for the next generation of Asian actors. He wants to prove they don't have to play stereotypes. He wants complex, human roles. With perfect English and deep Japanese cultural roots, he's a rare asset in the global industry. Mackenyu Arata is no longer just Sonny Chiba's son. He has written his own legend through sweat, bruises, and tears behind the scenes. From a teen in Beverly Hills to the green-haired swordsman loved by the world, he is proof that relentless dedication pays off. We are just seeing the beginning of a future legend.